Hey everybody, what's up? November 1st, Thursday. Time for an update and some announcements. First off, tomorrow we will get the jobs report for October. As I always do, I put together my forecast. I sent that out to MMT Trader subscribers and to Zombie Trading subscribers. If you want to get a copy of that forecast, and again, I have been very, very accurate on forecasting the deviation away from the consensus. In other words, and that's really the important thing to know, because there's a consensus, and that means what most economists are forecasting for that number, all right? But it is the degree of variance above or below that number when there's a surprise. That's what really moves the markets. And I have been very, very accurate in calling that variance, that deviation from the consensus. So if you want that report, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader or Zombie Trading, and you will get it. In addition, yesterday I sent out the full analysis and breakdown of the EIA Weekly Petroleum Status Report, as I always do every week. Oil is down pretty sharply today, about 2%, a little bit more than 2%. There's a lot going on. We have the Iran sanctions starting next week. We have new developments in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if you saw this in the news, but King Salman, his youngest brother, went back to Saudi Arabia from London, ostensibly with support from the United States and the UK. So something is afoot. Now, we know that Mohammed bin Salman, the son of the king, is now running the country. But as a result of the Khashoggi, the journalist, murder, this guy is seen as a bad actor by previously nations that supported him, speaking of the United States and the UK. And it looks like now something is afoot to maybe where the United States wants him out. So this guy, the younger brother of King Salman, went back to Saudi Arabia. I don't know what kind of deal was arranged between this guy and the United States and Britain, but we see oil prices down sharply today. I have an outlook on oil. If you want to get the updates on that, please, again, sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader or Zombie Trading. I will send you that outlook. Very important. I'm not going to talk very much about the dollar today, other than to say today the dollar has reversed completely its gains for this entire week. So what we saw yesterday was a new high, or the day before, and then yesterday was a very fractional new high in the dollar index, 0.09%. I know all of you little mama's boys, you were cheering and having orgasms. Today reversed, not just that, but the whole entire week of gains has been lost, okay? And this is classic. I mean, you have a new high, you make a marginal new high when the underlying fundamental is not really that constructive, and it sells off. So I'm not going to get into the dollar. I'll mention one more thing, because there have been a lot of negative comments here. A lot of thumbs down in the like section when I have been talking about the dollar. If you go back to 2009, when I made that call and said the dollar is going to rise in a very long-term bull market, that was almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago, and that was at a time when the dollar was dropping because there was Fed action, there was central bank action, there was quantitative easing, there were rate cuts down to zero, and all of you same people and all of these quacks out there, the Schiffs and the Mark Fabers and Jimmy Rogers, all saying the dollar's going to go down. I was the only one who came out at that time because I had the proper understanding of the monetary system and said this creates a tremendously bullish scenario for the dollar. And if you go back and if you look at that video from 2009, there were far more thumbs down in the comments, hugely outnumbering the thumbs up. So if you want to take that as a contrary indicator, everybody hated what I was saying at that time, that the dollar was going to embark on a very powerful bull market as a result of the policies being enacted at the time. The policies that were enacted at the time, which were rate cuts down to zero, quantitative easing, asset purchases. Everyone said, oh, that's it. They're printing money. They're printing money. I explained how it was the opposite. It was the unprinting of money. You had so many more negative thumbs down comments on that, but who was right? I was right. So the same thing here now. The negative, the thumb down comments on the videos I've been making when I say the dollar is topping out, you got to be shorting it for the long term. Same thing. And we'll go back and we'll look at this video. I'm sure I'll be mentioning this a couple of years from now, saying, this was the moment when I was building a massive short position. And we'll talk when the dollar index is at 70. Stocks. I sent out today the weekly AAII, that's the American Association of Individual Investors. They have a weekly sentiment survey. Very interesting what happened there in the last week. In spite of all the very sort of scary sell-offs that we saw, the last 2 days, when we had these big rebounds, kind of reinstilled some bullish confidence. Not at a very high level, but we went from a very, very low level of bullish confidence back up to almost a neutral level of bullish confidence. So I send that out every week. If you want to see my comments on that, again, just go to the website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. Next Saturday, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, I have my MMT Trader dinner coming up in New York City. If you want to come to that, the cost is $250 per person. You can go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com/MMT Trader Dinner. MMT Trader Dinner. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone's going to have a great time right in the heart of Wall Street at the famed Harry's Restaurant. Great place. We're going to have a lot of fun. If you want to come, it's open. Just go to the website and sign up. Love to have you there. Other than that, tomorrow we get the jobs number. That could be a pivotal number. As you know, we had the ADP payroll number yesterday, which came out above expectations. They were looking for, I think, a 195,000 increase in payrolls. We got a 227,000. Tomorrow's forecast is for 190,000. I have sent out my forecast earlier, so you need to know what that is. It's going to be, I think, somewhat market moving, and it may set the tone for the next several months. We have expectations again of another rate hike coming in December. And let me finish off by saying this thing, which was very, very interesting to me. I read an article where a Harvard economics professor was quoted, not just quoted, he wrote a paper talking about how the understanding of interest rates and inflation is pretty much wrong in mainstream economics. And he talked about how the true relationship between interest rates and inflation is exactly as I have been saying, that higher rates bring on higher levels of inflation as a consequence of the income effect and the pricing effect. And as central banks attempt to squash that inflation by raising rates even more, that actually initiates a vicious cycle where you get even higher inflation and then another response by the central bank where they raise rates, and then that flows through into higher income and higher prices, and on it goes. And I was very, very taken aback by this paper because it was written by an Ivy League professor where, if you know, these schools teach what is the mainstream economics, which is the neoclassical, which has everything wrong, which is basically based on a gold standard or a fixed exchange rate. They don't understand floating FX, non-convertible currency, which is currently the regime pretty much all over the world, and they get everything wrong, okay? The loanable funds theory and all that stuff. So it was kind of unusual. I was surprised to see it from a Harvard economics professor. I'm sure that guy now is not going to get any more of his papers published in any of these, respectable journals. And I say that facetiously because now he's going to be ostracized. He's going to be marginalized because of his view. He's going to be criticized because of his view. But he has it right. He has it right. Anyway, that's it for today. Let's see what the number is tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.